up, guys? Puma bringing you another video today in my series, The Best Weapons in Warzone. Today, I'm sort of excited, and a small piece of me has died all at the same time because my gun today is going to be the infamous Oden. What a lot of people will tell you is the worst gun in the game. So we're going to be looking at it today. I'm going to tell you all the attachments to use, why to use them to make this gun the best weapon in Warzone. Before I do, I want to take a second and talk to you about something that's really important. About 10% of my views are currently coming from subscribers. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. You can see the link down at the bottom of the video. I'm going to wait until you do that. All right, so I can't actually wait and make you do that before you watch the video. So we're going to keep going, but check this out. I want you guys to let me know what you think at the end. Put it in the comments or whatever. Let me know if you use this gun as well, but let's hop right into it. Today, the Oden. Okay, here it is. We're going to start off with the recoil pattern of the stock Oden. Comes with a 20 round mag. We're going to see what the recoil looks like. And see why people hate this gun. I feel like it's actually moving me forward. All right, let's look at it one more time. All right, so definitely more recoil than any gun I've ever tried. And it's only 20 bullets. For the most part, straight up, you can see there's a little bit of like left to right and then back to the right. And all of these left to right and then back up to the left to right. So that's the stock recoil pattern. Next, we're going to look at the underbarrel attachments. First up, we're going to look at the Commando foregrip. I'm going to do these underbarrel attachments one at a time without throwing on the long barrel and the monolithic suppressor are obviously attachments I'm going to recommend for Warzone. But I'm going to do the grips one at a time. The Commando foregrip we would expect to see tightening up of the left to right recoil and not an enormous amount. It's more about left and right usually with the Commando than it is up and down, but let's see. Let me do one more. All right, so basically what we would expect, the left and right recoil, horizontal has been cleaned up and tightened. The vertical is basically didn't touch the vertical recoil, which I'm a little surprised by. A lot of times these attachments have sort of hidden stats, but the Commando foregrip has definitely cleaned up the left to right, or the left and right recoil, horizontal. Okay, next we are looking at the Merc foregrip. Now, the Merc foregrip, if you'll remember, has recoil control, which is supposed to be the vertical component, and hipfire accuracy. This is an attachment you can use on a lot of SMGs for hipfire and stuff like that. But let's look at how the Merc foregrip does with the Oden. All right, so just to refresh, we've got the Merc. These three are the Merc foregrip. These middle three are the Commando foregrip. And these first three were the stock gun. So this definitely cleaned up vertical. You can see that, you know, vertically these bullets are much tighter. They're, like we've seen before, there's some amount of randomness to clip. Like this one has, you know, more kind of left and right than this one did. And we see that sometimes, but the overall pattern vertically was much better, while horizontally it was probably a little bit cleaner, but still not a huge improvement with the horizontal recoil. Okay, so the next grip that we're going to look at is the Ranger foregrip. Now, the Ranger foregrip has recoil control and aim stability. Aim stability being just when you're ADSing, how much sway there is. What I like about the Ranger foregrip in a lot of these situations is the range is improved and the control. I mean, usually all of the green, you know, these green bars, what it improves is going to be more than the Merc foregrip. So you can see that the Merc foregrip has a little bit more accuracy. I don't know if you can see that on your screen, but a little bit more accuracy, less range, and less control. So for this gun, the control component being the recoil control. So we're hoping that this is going to be our best underbarrel attachment. Okay, so it's hard to tell. I'll let you kind of be the judge. This is the Ranger foregrip. This is the Merc foregrip. Based on these, I'm sort of leaning towards the Merc foregrip. I don't think the Commando foregrip is going to be the way to go on this gun, just because of we really want to help out with the vertical component, not the horizontal component. But I could be wrong, so let's keep testing and see where it goes. All right, so we're going to do something a little bit different today. I still want to test these different underbarrel attachments sort of in more detail. So I'm going to do it with my sort of realistic simulation of shooting at a target at range and trying to, you know, counteract the recoil. So the first one we've got up is going to be the Commando foregrip. The long barrel for the Oden is called the 810mm Oden Factory. The monolithic suppressor and the VLK-3 optic for that hidden 10% bonus in recoil control and stabilization. I left it at 4. So you guys, if you like this, you'll have the opportunity to use either ammo, attack laser or something for ADS speed, or even the fast hands for quicker reload. The Oden is sort of really slow when it comes to reload speed. So 4 attachments. We're going to shoot at this guy right here, and this is the Commando foregrip version. Let's try that again. Yeah, so the vertical component is fairly easy to manage. The left and right is where you see how it kicks left early on, or it kicks right early on. Let me show you that again. It'll kick right real early. Yeah, there it goes. All right, so not terrible. Let's try the different grips. This time we've got our loadout set up with the Merc foregrip. Same other 3 attachments. Long barrel monolithic suppressor and the VLK optic. So let's see how we do with this. Night and day difference.
Low ammo.
All right, I'm going to show you guys this spread. I don't know that I got like a single, let's imagine center mass, you know, upper torso or whatever, being right in here. I mean, I had like 3 bullets go outside of that. 1, 2, maybe 3 right there. And that's the interesting thing that I really want you guys to check out. Do this on your own. Set up a private lobby if you've got the full game, or I guess go to Plunder if you want to do it that way, if you just have the free Warzone version. And try these out. The Merc foregrip is not supposed to help with recoil stabilization. It's not supposed to really help with the left-right. Remember, it's just hipfire accuracy, which has nothing to do with ADSing, and it's recoil control, which has to do with controlling the vertical component of recoil. Again, you think about if I'm holding a gun like this that's got this big, you know, handle sticking down underneath it, it's going to be a lot harder for that gun to rise while I'm shooting it, you know, hence the recoil control component. In practice, what we saw, or what I saw just now, is that there was way less of a horizontal component. If you'll remember, just back the video up a little bit if you want to see it again, because the game has sort of deleted my my bullet impacts from this earlier one, is when I was shooting at this target, 2 or 3 bullets in, it would kick right. And the Commando foregrip is specifically designed to help with that horizontal component. And what we saw here is that the Merc foregrip performed much, much better. All right, last up we've got the build with the Ranger foregrip. The Ranger foregrip being aim stability and recoil control. The stats are better. I think there's a slightly bigger hit to mobility, but better control. better range, and actually the accuracy is not quite as good as the Merc foregrip, but this should still be kind of neck and neck with the Merc foregrip. So let's see how it does. All right, so not bad. Again, the range that I'm at is probably 30 or 35 meters, somewhere in there. This is a pretty realistic upper torso. You know, a headshot would be maybe half that big, but you're hitting a lot of these shots, and you're putting enemies down pretty quickly. It's one of the things about the Oden that people like is the high damage. That didn't feel like it performed quite as good as the, what did I do first? The Ranger foregrip, the hipfire recoil control grip. But it still performed much better than the Commando foregrip. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go with the Ranger foregrip. I'm going to see how this does at range, which is usually how we test as well. One more target, and we'll see. We'll kind of see what it looks like there. Okay, here it is. This is the last test that we're going to put this through today. This range is probably close to 100 meters. It's kind of pushing the limits of what you're generally going to use an assault rifle for in Warzone. If they're at this range or even a little bit farther, you're probably going to want to try a sniper or just not shoot at them at all. But this is a test we do every time, so let's see how we do. All right, so it's not terrible. It's somewhere in the middle in terms of, I've done almost all the ARs, and that was somewhere in the middle of like how ARs tend to perform at this distance. Again, it's pushing the limits, and it's a difficult shot to make, but the accuracy was decent. Not the best, certainly not the worst. One of the things I want to point out, if I can do it, I don't know if I have a spot here where I can do this. Yeah, here we go. Is usually at this range, when you're playing Warzone, this is what I would recommend like mounting for. It's gonna just help immensely with your accuracy. So if you see a guy at this range, this is actually why I test him just standing up, not crouched, not prone, not mounted. I just want to see how the gun performs. You can get an even greater accuracy bonus, recoil control, and all that stuff bonus if you're mounted up. Let's see what this looks like. I mean, it's just spot on. Like, you're not missing any of the shots. So while I like to test just standing up, but that got away from me. Just seeing what the gun looks like there. I want to remind you guys that generally at that range, if you have an opportunity, go ahead and mount up. Sometimes you can go prone if you're on a rooftop or something, and that's going to greatly help your recoil. But let's look at the loadout one more time. What I'm going with here is the VLK-3 optic, the monolithic suppressor, the long barrel, which for the Oden is called the 810mm, and the Merc foregrip. The Merc foregrip has, again, recoil control, hipfire accuracy, helps with range a little bit, accuracy a bunch, and control a little bit, has a tiny hit to mobility. The sort of second place was the Ranger foregrip, which generally has a bigger hit to mobility, a little bit more control and range, less accuracy. The one thing I like about the Merc foregrip is that it does have that hip fire bonus. And, you know, you just think about the times where you're playing a game and you come around a corner and there's a guy standing right there and you've got your AR out. That hip fire accuracy, that little hip fire boost is really going to help. You know, it's basically changing the size of the crosshairs right now when you're not ADSing. That's what hip fire accuracy does. All right, guys, I hope that video was helpful. One of the things I've learned from using the Oden myself is that it's got really high damage. You're going to put people down quicker, and it's got really high recoil, and you're going to notice just the amount of movement that the gun has throughout the clip. You know, fully auto firing that clip, and you're going to see a lot of movement. It's not the worst gun that I've ever played with, for sure. That so far goes to the 5.56. Just a terrible, burning garbage pile of a gun. It's just a terrible gun. It's terrible. The FAL, it sort of reminds me of the FAL in its uniqueness. and that you have like sort of high damage, but it doesn't feel the same as a traditional AR with the full auto, component to it, or at least it's a little bit different. So if you're looking for a way to switch up the meta, definitely try this gun out. The one thing that I'm going to tell you right now is that I forgot with the Oden that you have this really unique suppressor. I'm going to show you guys that right now. It's called the Colossus suppressor, which makes the entire gun like 9 feet long. It has an even greater bonus to accuracy and range. I think it's got bullet velocity on there maybe as well. Your mobility is really going to take a hit, so you're going to move slower with this gun. You're going to ADS a little bit slower. But again, like some people have talked about in other videos I've watched, some of those things don't mean as much in Warzone. ADS speed specifically, a lot of times in battle royales and certainly in Warzone, if you can get in the habit of understanding player movements and sort of you get an idea of where people are going to be, ADS time becomes less important because you're already looking at where you think they're going to be. You don't get surprised as much where, when you're playing like multiplayer, for example, a traditional multiplayer first-person shooter, ADS speed is going to be more important. So that's my take on the gun. Give it a try. And if you use the Oden yourself, if you've tried out my version and you want to give me some suggestions or comments, be sure to just drop them in the comments section below. Guys, thanks for stopping by today and checking the video out. I hope you liked it. As a reminder from the beginning of the video, getting about 10% of my views are from subscribers, and I'm really working on my offline content, my YouTube channel, getting that custom YouTube URL so that I can tell people that it's youtube.com/armoredpuma17 instead of youtube.com/ a bunch of alphanumeric characters and underscores and dashes and stuff like that no one's ever going to be able to remember. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. Be sure to check my Instagram, which is armoredpuma17, for all of the loadouts that I use. And you can find me streaming on Facebook at fb.gg/armoredpuma17. We'll see you next time.